Welcome to the Ben Dental Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. The house is on fire. There is smoke coming from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The Indiana Fever, after doing PR these last few days, Sunday calling Yahoo Sports, sending Lexi Hull to do the bidding of the front office, put Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White in front of the microphone yesterday. Oh, we love each other. Everything's fine and dandy. Only for today, for them to reveal the team and coaches had a 2-hour meeting, and now here we are. Scott Agness gets fired by the Indiana Fever. They have revoked his credentials. Scott Agness. Now, I know we give Scott a lot over here, but we got to call a spade a spade. Scott Agness was the only one that reported on Caitlin Clark's ankle injury last year. The only one. Scott Agness was the only one that told us that Aliyah Boston's lower leg injury was actually a meniscus tear that they're dealing with. Scott Agness was the one that said that. Scott Agness got fired for saying a little bit too much, being a little bit too forthright with his information. Yes, he held some things back. Yes, he didn't reveal everything, but he at least revealed something. He at least revealed what Chloe Peterson is too scared to reveal, what Tony East too scared to reveal. All the people that sit at practice with a camera taking video. At least Scott Agness gave us something that we could work with. The Indiana Fever fired him for that. Scott Agness puts out a statement. He lets us know they didn't like my reporting on the back injury. I called it strategic planning. They didn't like that. They said everything's fine and dandy. Oh, so everything's fine and dandy. So we're not load managing. Yeah, yeah, you said too much. I told you this organization ran like the mob, ran like a couple gangsters. They got to tie up loose ends. And Scott Agness, a loose end. I'm not going to celebrate over him getting his credentials revoked. The one thing I will say, that channel you got, Scotty, I hope that's your channel. I hope the Indiana Fever got nothing to do with that channel, because I would hate for you to lose that too, because they got butt hurt that you actually provided people with some information that we can use. Just unfortunately for the Indiana Fever, they're a bunch of scam artists, snakes, and slime balls, and you got caught in the crossfire. Let's get right into it, shall we? Like the video, hype the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Scott Agness comes straight out with it. Look at this, folks. Revealed at 2:30. It's already got 300,000 views. This is a problem for the Indiana Fever. And unfortunately for the Indiana Fever, this isn't a Caitlin Clark-centric problem. This is a problem about the organization. This is a problem with management, how they're run. The precedent that they're setting. Hey, if you don't hold my bath water, if you don't follow me around with some toilet paper ready to wipe my ass after I take a shit, then you know what? We got to let you go. Uh-oh. Let's take a look, see what Scott Agness had to say. An update for subscribers and Fever fans. After the Indiana Fever revoked my credentialed access, I want readers to understand what happened, why I stand by the reporting, and what it means for future coverage. Good afternoon. I want to share an important update regarding my coverage of the Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever Public Relations informed me via email that my credentialed access to all team events had been revoked. Didn't even call him. Somebody who's been covering for the team for a long time. Didn't even call him. Made relationship at cold business. They said it was due to, quote, spread of inaccurate and unsubstantiated information, and cited my tweet about Caitlin Clark being ruled out 100 minutes before they defeated the Portland Fire on May 20th. That could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. But don't you be fooled. They were pissed that Scott Agness let everybody know, damn, she hurt her ankle in practice last year. They were furious about that. Then we roll into this season. Lower leg injury, lower leg injury, lower leg injury for Aliyah Boston. Scott Agness gets word. Oh, it's a meniscus tear? They're pissed that Scott Agness reported it was a meniscus tear. This was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Fever PR both briefly spoke with me before the game to ask about the tweet and state that they believed it was false. However, There was no meeting or further conversation before the decision to revoke my credentialed access was communicated to me. In my response, I told the organization that I stand by my reporting and the intent behind it. Because many of you subscribe to Fieldhouse Files specifically for Fever coverage, I believe it's important to be transparent about what happened. The reporting in question was not behind a paywall. It was available to anyone who wanted to read it. It was based on information from a trusted league source. The story provided additional details and was updated before tip-off to include head coach Steffi White's pregame comments. As soon as the Indiana Fever find out who that trusted league source was, yeah, they're going to go after them. So whether it's a he, she, they, them, it, whatever the fuck you are, they're coming after you. Here's a portion of that story. Clark was visible at practice on Tuesday, but White said Clark did not participate. She got treatment yesterday and went through workouts after practice, she said. I reported earlier that there is no new injury or concern. White confirmed that. Quote, she's healthy, said White, adding, we're not managing anything. This is just a back issue that we want to make sure we give the time to be ready. Contradicting herself, Stephanie White doesn't have her story straight off the bat. I also wrote that it was part of a strategic management plan for Clark, who missed all but 13 games last season due to several injuries. That was not to insinuate load management, but rather emphasize the precautionary measure given what she experienced last season. I interpreted strategic management plan as load managing, as I think everybody else did. Scott, that's kind of what that means. This is the Indiana Fever's fourth game in 8 days, with another one coming on Friday against the Golden State Valkyries. Clark is playing almost 31 minutes per game and is one of several players to wear a back heating pad around her back when not in the game. There's a lot of stress on the body when ramping back up to a full workload, and she hadn't played significant minutes since last July. This is how beat reporting works. Report the news, gather additional context, speak with sources, and update readers as new information becomes available. They hate that. They absolutely hate that. And for that, they took away his credentials because they didn't like how he reported on her back injury. The Indiana Fever want people that will lie in the mud while they walk over them so they don't get their shoes dirty. The Indiana Fever want people to lie in the water while it's raining so they can cross the street without getting the bottom of their shoes dirty. The Indiana Fever want people that will hold umbrellas for them while they're walking outside because the sun's too bright. Not even because the sun's too bright. Might not have liked everything Scott did, and it's crazy. Labeled us the dark side, and here we are, the dark side, saying, you know what? This ain't right. Might not have liked everything he did, but he did a lot more as far as breaking news and reporting than any of these donkeys do. I can't think of one breaking news story that we've gotten from anybody inside the Indiana Fever not named Scott Agness. Can you? And if you can, let me know in the comment section below. The Indiana Fever aren't escaping this. Damn! They really threw Scott on the guillotine. To his credit, if not for him, that ankle injury from last year still would be unknown, and Aliyah's meniscus would remain a leg injury. At the end of the day, he just knew too much. Fever had to tie up the loose ends. I don't think credentialed media not associated with holding the Indiana Fever or WNBA's water are going to let this fly without asking some real questions. And I know this is an Indiana Fever reporter, beat writer, credentialed, whatever you want to call him, but I specify WNBA's water because the WNBA shills out there, I'm sure they're going to stay quiet on the matter. And if they speak on it, it's going to be very vague. They're not actually going to address the problem with this because they don't want to lose their credentials either. Indiana Fever can't get out of their own way. This puts the organization further under a microscope. Jason Whitlock, this is absolutely criminal. Pat McAfee has to address this. The Caitlin Clark 6 must be stopped. Ryan Glasspiegel from Front Office Sports Media. Scott Agness, who's been covering the Pacers and Fever for eons, says he got his credentials revoked for doing run-of-the-mill reporting and provides all the receipts. John Root of Outkick talks about it. Richard Deitch of The Athletic speak about it. We're having real media. Christine Brennan. The Indiana Fever have revoked the credential of the longest-serving reporter covering the team. Scott Agness announced that he has been banned because of his reporting on Caitlin Clark's surprising absence from a game in May. Banning a reporter is never the right thing to do. Can't get out of their own way. Keith Murphy from Sound Off 13. Absolutely insane. I try to tell everybody that Chloe Peterson was not to be trusted. Brett Siegel, NBA insider, reporter for Clutch Points. Yep, the Indiana Fever. This is on you. This is a story strictly on you. Nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Nothing to do with the play on the floor. Nothing to do with, well, shoot, it might have something to do with Stephanie White. But it's got everything to do with Kelly, Lynn, Amber, Steph. They got to speak on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Sucks that Scott got something that helps him feed his family or whatever taken away from him. It's unfortunate. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.